When my mom got sick, I dropped out of college to take care of her. After she passed, I found out she'd left everything to my brother, who never visited once. Those words burned in my chest as I sat in the lawyer's office, trying to process the impossible. I had spent years by her side, cleaning her room, helping her take her medication, staying up at night when she couldn't sleep. And yet, when it mattered most, she chose him, the brother who called once a year, if that, and only because he wanted something. People always thought I was weak. My friends, my distant relatives, even the neighbors, they saw me as the dutiful daughter, the one who would always sacrifice. My brother, handsome, charming, and seemingly untouchable. Everyone adored him. Everyone but me. Growing up, Mom had been my world. My father had passed when I was 10, leaving us with nothing but memories and a small house in a quiet neighborhood. Mom worked 2 jobs to keep us afloat. I admired her strength, her unyielding spirit, but I also knew her heart had limits. She always joked that she'd leave everything to whoever truly deserved it, and at the time I laughed along. Who could have guessed the joke would sting so deeply? When the news hit, I felt the air leave my lungs. I wanted to scream, to punch the walls of that stuffy lawyer's office. But instead, I nodded, smiled politely, and left. I walked past the familiar streets of my neighborhood, streets I'd known all my life, and everything felt alien. The betrayal wasn't just from my brother. It was from the universe itself. As I returned home, I remembered all the nights I stayed up with Mom, wiping her tears, holding her hand, promising I'd take care of everything. I had given her my life, my dreams, my energy. And what did I get in return? A lesson in how cruel life could be. But I didn't cry. Not there, not yet. Because deep inside, beneath the hurt, a spark flickered. They thought I was powerless. They thought I would simply accept it. They were wrong. Very wrong. That night, I looked around the small apartment I'd inherited nothing but memories from. I made a promise, to myself, to Mom, to the universe, that this wasn't the end. They had underestimated me, and they would regret it. The weeks that followed were a blur. Every family gathering became a theater of humiliation. My brother flaunted his new inheritance as if he had earned it through kindness, patience, or devotion. "I guess Mom liked me better," he'd say with that infuriating grin, and everyone laughed. Everyone except me. I felt the weight of their laughter like a knife twisting in my chest. Friends and distant relatives whispered behind my back. "Why doesn't she just move on?" they asked. Maybe she was never close to Mom anyway. They didn't see the sleepless nights I spent, the meals I skipped, the sacrifices I made. They didn't know the quiet resilience that had carried me through years of struggle. They didn't know that beneath my calm exterior, a storm was brewing. I found solace in small victories, finishing my part-time work, quietly saving, networking online, and learning skills I had ignored in college. I built a foundation no one saw, no one knew about. While my brother spent money recklessly, I strategized, researched, and positioned myself for something bigger. He thought he had won, but he was simply stepping onto the stage I had prepared. Every insult, every mocking glance only fueled my determination. I kept a journal, detailing every slight, every injustice. I tracked his movements on social media, noting his arrogance, his carelessness. And I waited, biding my time, letting him believe that life was always in his favor. There were nights I cried, yes. Alone, under dim lights, I allowed myself the grief, the anger, the sense of betrayal. But each tear became fuel, each sleepless night a lesson. I realized something crucial. I had hidden power. Money was one part, but the real strength was knowledge, influence, and the ability to strike when the moment was perfect. I was underestimated, dismissed, invisible to those who mattered most. And that invisibility would be my greatest weapon. The moment came quietly, almost imperceptibly. A single email, a phone call, a whisper in the right ear, and I began to see the first cracks in their world. Justice wasn't coming in a storm. It was arriving in the silence, in the subtle movements that no one noticed but me. My brother had no idea he was walking straight into the trap I had meticulously laid out. Months passed. I grew stronger, smarter, sharper. The world I had once watched from the sidelines became my arena. I had contacts in business, in law, in investments. I quietly turned Mom's old savings into leverage, expanding them into opportunities my brother could never touch. He was still living in the moment, buying cars, throwing parties, mocking my supposed weakness. Little did he know, I was playing chess while he played checkers. I forged alliances with people who could help me, people he'd never suspect. The loyal neighbor who once admired him? He now unknowingly gave me inside information. A distant cousin in finance? My covert advisor. Every move, every whisper, every seemingly insignificant action contributed to the crescendo of his downfall. Then came the day I executed the plan. Invitations to a so-called family celebration went out. Subtle, elegant, all eyes on him. He walked in, confident, his smirk wider than ever. He thought the world adored him, that his inheritance had made him untouchable. The guests murmured in awe, waiting for him to shine. He had no idea he was stepping into the heart of my orchestrated storm. I watched quietly from the shadows, heart steady, mind sharp. All the pieces were in place. Moments of humiliation, missteps, and faux triumphs had led to this stage. The final act was about to unfold. He didn't see me in the corner, calm, collected, commanding the room in ways he couldn't even fathom. And then it began. A subtle ripple of whispers, a gentle nudge of evidence, a public reveal that made his face pale. Guests looked at him differently now. Curious, concerned, incredulous. My brother's confidence faltered. He tried to regain composure, to laugh it off, to assert dominance. But every attempt crumbled like sand slipping through his fingers. The trap was real, and he was ensnared. The moment of revelation arrived. I stepped forward, not with anger, but with poise. You always believed Mom's love, or her belongings, were yours by default, I said, voice steady, eyes locked on him. But you forgot one thing. She taught me resilience, strategy, and the value of true dedication. Gasps filled the room. My calm authority silenced everyone else. One by one, I unveiled the truth. The documents proving his reckless misuse of Mom's gifts. The evidence of his arrogance. The financial maneuvers he had ignored that now left him exposed. The audience watched, riveted, as the charming brother, the golden child, crumbled. He stumbled, embarrassed, humiliated, unable to defend himself. Every insult, every betrayal, every mocking glance he had given me returned to him tenfold. And then I revealed my secret. The investments, the alliances, the skills I had developed in silence. I was not powerless. I was untouchable. The room's energy shifted. Awe replaced laughter. Respect replaced mockery. My brother, once the favorite, now understood the depth of underestimation. I smiled quietly, savoring the moment, not for cruelty, but for justice. He had thought he won, that he had everything. But the universe has a way of balancing the scales. He walked away, humbled, defeated, while I stood in the quiet triumph of a battle won through patience, intellect, and heart. The last line was mine. You may have inherited her things, but I inherited her strength. And that is priceless. The words hung in the air, heavy and final. I had the last laugh, the final victory. The betrayal had been turned into a testament of my resilience and cunning. If you loved this story of betrayal and ultimate revenge, hit like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. What would you have done? Stay tuned for the next shocking confession.